Because the variety, Jack's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah, incredible. So much variety. That's what's keeping me engaged. It's so interesting to see how one prompt is taken differently by everyone.
Yeah, and the amount of techniques, I'm not suggesting that everybody has been rigidly using the book, but it relates to the techniques, and it's a really nice way for us to see how people use those techniques in different ways.
Yeah, it's nice to spot them and recognize if somebody actually used the book and found some inspiration there.
Yeah, this is so sweet, isn't it?
So beautiful. Again,
Yeah.
this is taking the technique, but actually bringing it to the next level. Like she's actually made a little face, like it's like almost like a doll.
Yeah, I guess it's a purse, isn't it? I'm not sure whether it opens or not, but I mean, printing on fabric can be one of the trickier techniques, because it's all down to whether your printer is going to cope with it or not. But it looks like that one's been done on linen as well, which is, it's just so gorgeous because you get the texture coming through. Really, really nice.
It's the perfect fabric. I think there's a roughness to it that goes so well with the photograph.
So this is the lovely containers.
I'm loving seeing them all together. This is now day 10 where she's gathered them, and it's like a crazy family of people. It's just she's blowing my mind every day. What I love about Kirsty as well is that she's really explaining everything that she's done, like all the techniques, everything that she's used, the products,
every material,
every material.
And she comes at them all from such a different angle. It's really interesting how her thought process, and she articulates it really well.
Big fan. She blows my mind every day.
Absolutely.
This is brilliant.
It's exquisite, isn't it? So this one was Dr. Robert McGill. Was that day 3? I've not got my prompts next to me, actually. Dr. R. McG, I can see. With the little vials of blood and the bandage and stuff, and I mean, I don't know whether this is the plastery stuff around the edge, looks like plaster of Paris that you would put onto a broken, a plaster for a broken bone, doesn't it?
It looks like that. I really love that the photo has been painted around, so it's almost like sucked into the container. I would imagine that the statues have been all painted because it's all the same color. It's just exquisite.
And the scalpel blade at the bottom.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
it's gorgeous.
So I suppose this is so many techniques, isn't it? But ultimately in a container. The container being used to pull all of those different elements together to make this really beautiful piece.
This makes me laugh,
isn't it? So this is Jerry the fisherman that loved many, married none, isn't it?
He's got them all there, like a collection of women.
I know, he's bottled all of his women. It's fantastic. And the textures, this old fishing line around the outside with the fish on the top, just perfect, isn't it?
That totally frames it even more than the box itself. I mean, this is like a container within the container. This makes me very happy.
Absolutely. 10 little containers within it. Superb. This one is absolutely stunning, isn't it?
Dreamy.
And the amount of thought that's gone into this. So this was Francois Dupont from the fishing village in Provence, wasn't it? And so they've used a tin that contained fish as a start, and then the fisherman's photo, the sailor's photo inside it. This blue, which is like the sky in Provence, and then the lavender, which is, represents Provence. It's so clever. It looks really simple, but the thought that's gone into that, and it's just so beautiful as well.
Absolutely agree. Really, nothing is casual here. There's nothing that's just been put there without thought.
No. And it's actually harder to do a piece that looks simple, isn't it? To make it work, it balances the way that the lavender goes straight up the middle, kind of, balances the tin and the leaves at the bottom. It's really clever. just gorgeous, isn't it?
Adorable. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is quite similar to one of the projects in the book, isn't it? I can't remember what page. One of the 1 hour projects, which this clearly didn't take 1 hour. This is a lot of work's gone into this. But yeah, we've got a project sort of lined with paper like that.
Yeah.
I love her little boat that she's made as well.
So cute. And the flag to make sure that he's a French sailor.
Exactly. Yeah, so this one, this is my piece from yesterday, I think. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
This is funny, you know, so I was walking the dog on the beach and I found that crab and I was thinking, obviously I need to put an image on this. But at the time I didn't know what. And it's so tiny. It's about 1 inch across.
All right.
And very delicate. So I actually found 2 limpet shells and encased him in that whilst I was walking the dog so that he wouldn't get crushed. Safely got him back to the car. And then the background is from a very, very old prayer book. And I was desperately looking for a gold ring that looks like a wedding ring. And I searched everywhere. This was one that my daughter had years ago, and it was very, very cheap metal. But it kind of does. I then I messaged loads of my local friends saying, has anybody got a fishing hook? And they were saying, what size? And I said, you know, sort of this size. Nobody did. So I ended up just making one from wire, but I think it works okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then it's, just set into a little container. So yeah, he avoided the marital hook time and time again.
Unbelievable. So this is a tissue print, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So yeah, printed onto tissue and used matte medium to adhere it to the crab. With all of these things, you can never guarantee their longevity because you know, who knows whether tissue print sticks to crab shells in the long term.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh well, we love something that lasts even just for a little bit.
Exactly.
Oh, and this is another tissue print. I can't believe you can just print on anything. This is mind-blowing.
Yeah, this was a lucky feather actually. It was I don't know what type it is. I found it around here, so probably pheasant or kestrel. They're the ones that sort of drop around where I live. Sorry, not kestrel, buzzard. It's quite a stiff feather, so you know, I don't know where on the bird it came from, but it's got a lot of strength. So yeah, it's a tissue print. But when I applied the tissue to the feather, it became almost transparent. So what you're actually seeing is a lot of paint.
Right.
I kind of use the tissue print really as a paint by numbers sort of, you know, template, if you like.
I see.
And then I had to paint it. So yeah, a bit of a cheat really, but yeah, I love the way that it's worked.
Oh, it's great.
Again, that one hasn't lasted. It's caused, as the tissue has dried, it's caused the feather to sort of really curl and distort. I mean, it looks great actually. It looks intriguing, but you know, it's not a permanent piece of art.
Oh, this is another tissue. It's actually, when I saw this, it took me a second to see the pebble because I was drawn to the boat.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful photo. And then oh wait, that's our Jerry up there in the corner.
Yeah. It gives it a really, I mean, obviously it is 3D because the pebbles are 3D, but it kind of, to me, it makes the boat really stand out. As if they, you know, are underneath this sort of cascade of rocks and what have you.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
They're the lucky girls that got away from Jerry.
Many lovers. Oh, this is really just pretty. I absolutely love the composition and even the photo. It's just
it's so ethereal, isn't it? And the text coming through, it's just, so beautiful. Yeah.
And it's she was a poet, so we've got the handwriting, a ceramist, and so that you've actually, it's a glass, I think, but then the white makes it look like pottery. And I would put a tea light in here. It's just
it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I'd love to see it lit up actually. It'd be great, wouldn't it? So this is really interesting, isn't it? So Mixed Media Magpie, she's done all of hers in an art journal. You know, we talk about art journals in the book a little bit, and it's really nice to see the different characters, you know, the different prompts, all been done with similar backgrounds, and it just produces this really cohesive body of work.
Yeah.
And she's great at these captions. You know, I particularly like the one with Jerry the fisherman. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. A man of few words. So this is another one who looks like they've used an art journal for a few of the prompts. And
I recognize this photo as well.
I was going to say this is one of ours from the downloads, isn't it? Yeah. But don't you think that, so the photo cut out onto a black background, and then with these bits, and particularly the little pink cheeks, it makes it quite contemporary looking.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
Really transforms it. And the, you know, the surfboard made out of it looks like a torn envelope, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a nice take actually, because I love my vintage imagery, and actually this comes across quite strikingly contemporary. So yeah.
And the black background just really, it really sort of isolates the image, doesn't it? Makes it stand out. So this is a really lovely one. It's another container. I think we're both drawn to containers, aren't we?
Box, yeah.
Yeah. But it brings in so many different elements. You know, the container, kind of the assemblage with the heart. So this was Lance Corporal Arthur Smith, Arthur King, survived the shot to the heart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's the stitching on this, which it's subtle. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like it's sort of, is it called like a sort of Sacred Heart style?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why it's called, I think. Yeah, it's referencing a Sacred Heart. Yeah. And I love them. Almost like a cascade of jewelry, and it's like a splash of blood, but it's like
absolutely so clever.
Oh, this is great. I mean, Thread and Paper has been consistently making some really good work for this challenge, and this is just the way she ties in geometric stitching with the photograph. It's just I wouldn't be able to make this. I would imagine she used a guide to pierce the holes and then do the stitching, but this is really, really beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, and every day she comes up with different designs. You know, they're very clever. It reminds me, did you have spirograph as a child?
Yes.
You know, it's sort of reminiscent of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she frames the pictures very sensitively. You know, this sort of scooped out shape beneath the portrait really pulls your eye to the portrait.
That's right.
Yeah, it's really very, very high quality work, isn't it? It's gorgeous. Yeah. This is an exquisite piece of work.
Yeah.
You know, the detail and the amount of work that's gone into this.
Yeah.
So this was Mabel from London, who adored all shades of green. So there's, you know, the sequins, beads, looks like a sort of bullion stitch that's gone all the way, you know, the green sort of roll stitch all the way around the edge. But yeah, the beaded necklace is really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And is that a piece of fabric, the hat?
It looks like fabric, yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So much work's gone into that, and the colours are so rich.
Yeah. And it's got all shades of green, literally. There's
absolutely.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Really fills the brief, doesn't it?
Yes. Oh, I love this. This is actually her first embroidery on photograph, and so she's made this Christmas tree and the little red ribbon. And what I love about this is that she's hanging it on a tree. It looks like an ornament, and also the way that she's cut out this photograph with a scalpel, because this is for our surgeon Robert McGill, and I think it's just very clever, and it's just a really lovely golden stitching on this photograph. It's just I love it.
And it's so much more effective for this irregular shape that she's created. You know, if that was just still the square photo, it wouldn't have anywhere near as much impact, would it?
Absolutely.
You know, sort of chopping off part of his head makes it so much more intriguing. I love this piece.
I love it.
I mean, there's so much in it. I love it. It's a beautiful collage. The boat shaped hat, you know, you're sitting in a boat with the sails behind. But what really gets me is this kind of net of his lovers. Jack, to me, that looks at, I know it's not the same technique, but it's very similar to the stitch one that we did with the hexagons.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally looks like it. And it's they're stitched together. It looks like they're machine stitched together.
Yes.
It looks like our, oh my goodness, also they're shaped like a fish. I've only just seen that all together.
Yes, all makes one big fish, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, we called it the beehive quilt on page 98 in the book. Yeah, yes. That one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it does look like that. Yeah.
But what Christie has done is, just sort of use the full face images for each of them, which is, it's great, isn't it? It's such a good fun piece. So this is a stunning piece, isn't it? You can't beat a bit of negative space, can you?
Yeah, we talk about it in the book. There's something so impactful about just cutting out the image and then changing the background, and it's just completely changes the narrative of the photograph. It's beautiful.
Yeah, because in the book we show different backgrounds, don't we, and the impact that can have on, changing the context of the photo. To me, it's a really beautifully textured paper, excuse me, that Emily's used in the background. From a distance, it looks like it's heavily embroidered.
Totally agree. I was drawn to this because I thought it was embroidery.
Yes, yeah, I did. It's such a lovely, powerful image. From actually, the photo itself is quite faded. You probably wouldn't have really given it a second glance, would you? Yeah. But when it's transformed like this, it's absolutely captivating.
Yeah. And the contrast with these bright colors, that's what I think makes it pop so much. It's just
absolutely.
This is my piece from yesterday.
I love this.
Again, this is a negative space. I cut out the fisherman from a book. Actually, this is not a photograph. It's from a fishing book.
Yeah.
And the book I'd found next to the river here. There's something very simple again, but it speaks about the solitude of this man, he's on his own fishing. Yeah.
It's a very calm, contemplative piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do I recognize that green?
You do recognize that green. In fact, this is something that you'd sent me when I had purchased some of your beautiful ephemera, and you hand wrote this note on that piece of paper, so the back of it is signed by you. So this. Do
you know what? I love that nothing ever gets wasted, does it?
Oh, never. Never. This is a very precious piece of paper.
Did you know what? This is a great one to finish this on. So it's a digital collage, and we haven't included digital collage in the book. What I really love about this is that Christina's included 3 of our characters in one piece. So this is Nina with her unrequited love, her return love letters. Yeah. But the letters actually written to Arthur King, who was our Lance Corporal who got shot. And then she said, I love no one but you. I pray for love letters from you, but alas, you love Mabel. Obviously, Mabel from London, who adored green. So, and it's really humbling, actually, that we've kind of created this cast of characters that means something to everybody that's done the challenge. If you said Mabel, like, oh, Mabel from London that wears green, or whatever. Yeah, it's great, isn't it, that there's this whole new sort of cast that we've got.
I hadn't picked up on these things. That's amazing. Yeah, we're sort of self-referencing our own. I mean, if you show this to someone who doesn't know the challenge, they wouldn't get it. Oh, that's so clever.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah, brilliant.